Here's a look at the things you need to know today. When you need emergency help, the first thing you usually do is call 911. But how much do you know about the people on the other line? News 8's Brittany Schmidt introduces us to the people answering those emergency calls.
Lisa, Crosse County Emergency Services answered more than 280,000 phone calls last year, and almost 30,000 of those were for 911. It's a job that is stressful, emotional, and fast-paced, but one dispatcher says he wouldn't do it if he didn't care so much about the community he lives to serve.
Crosse County Sheriff's Department down.
They are the ones who play an important part in every emergency.
What's your name, ma'am?
But you will never see them at the scene.
Ma'am? You still there?
They are the first responders when there is an emergency.
We think of firemen as responders, we think of police officers, we think of EMTs on the ambulance and so forth as first responders. But before it gets to that point, someone's going to call for help.
And that someone is emergency dispatch.
Emergency dispatch center down. Okay, what was the address? Hold on one second, I'm going to transfer you. Where you keep the citizens and the officers safe. That's our goal, is to make everyone safe.
Don Mulway has answered a lot of phone calls during his 18 years at Crosse County Emergency Services. What do you do first?
Answer.
And he says every call is different.
You just kind of wonder what's on the other line, what's happening, who's on the other end.
About 10% of all phone calls made to emergency dispatch are calls for help.
We do get the calls where people are having a domestic and they just pick up the phone, dial 911, put it down, let us listen, and hopefully we can get enough information on what's going on to send what we need to send them.
Most of the time, the calls are non-emergent.
911 is just a small portion of what we do. We answer all the non-emergency calls for the law enforcement agencies within La Crosse County, and they do their dispatching. So that's really the bread and butter of what we do down here.
And other times, there isn't anyone on the other side of the phone.
How many butt dials do you get?
More than I care to share.
But no matter what, every call must be answered.
Every person that calls in thinks that call is important to them. So we deal with it and we triage it out. Go ahead, you're connected.
Don says there are some hard days at the office.
Getting calls about kids and stuff is really hard, and you have to maintain a professionalism.
They're really dealing with people that are their neighbors and sometimes friends and sometimes even family.
But he says he wouldn't answer the phone if he wasn't willing to help.
And us police department down. I don't think any of us would have taken this job if we didn't care. I've yet to meet anybody that didn't care about the people they deal with here.
There really isn't any schooling or professional training for being an emergency dispatch. A lot of it is experience and on-the-job training, and Jay says each phone call is a learning opportunity that they can improve on.
Yeah, now when dispatch calls for emergency response, do they ever get to find out the outcome of the situation?
If it's a minor situation, sometimes they do, but when it's more severe, usually HIPAA prohibits them from finding out any more information. But Don says in his experience, 18 years there, no news or no follow-up is usually good news.
Yeah, I suppose that helps them go to sleep at night when they get those difficult calls.
Exactly.
All right, thanks so much, Brittany.